It's time to tap into our darker side this week.
Yeah.
It's like
Edgy.
2000. It's like MySpace era. We got to dye our hair black.
Oh, man.
Put some My Chemical Romance into our music player. Make sure
man.
our
Speaking of,
top 8 is perfect.
I found my old iPod the other day. I was like, oh, wow, look at you.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yes, we're doing all of that because Inuyasha's going to lose his hair. Or the color of his hair, I should say.
He doesn't lose his hair.
He does not lose his hair. His hair stays the same. His color just decides to change on it.
And he loses ears.
It's true. Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of season... Or not that... Nope, wrong show. Take 2. Hello. Welcome to this week's episode of Jared and Al Watch Inuyasha. There you go.
Yep.
This is episode number 13. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Allen Ladium.
Hello.
We are watching season 1, episode 13, called The Mystery of the New Moon and the Black-Haired Inuyasha.
Bop!
Bop?
Bop!
Bop?
Yeah, I just made a noise. I don't know why.
I was very confused. There you go. We begin this episode and Kagomi's trying to escape from class even though she's on cleaning duty, and her friends are not happy about this.
I mean, do you blame him?
No.
I'd be mad too.
Oh, I'll make it up to you guys somehow. I just really gotta go see someone. Like, oh, you're just going to see your boyfriend? She's like, I don't have one. And then she tries to leave and runs into Hojo, who's brought her like a branch of bamboo. He's like, oh, yes, this will help you. Also, do you want to go to a movie? And her friend's like, oh my gosh, you gotta go. Kagomi's like, I guess, sure.
I love how he's like, I know that sitting might be kind of hard, but it's only 2 hours. So, like, maybe you could sit for 2 hours.
All right, I'll come pick you up at 6:15. All right, yeah, I'll see you then.
Dates.
She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. Also, again, what the heck?
Yeah.
You don't know each other.
Nope.
And he's just like, all right, you want to go out? She's like, huh? What? Huh?
And like everybody's like, yes, you have to do it. You have to go out with him. You have to. It's like, God, peer pressure. Calm down. And then they ask, like, have you ever been on a date before? She's like, yeah, I totally
clearly.
have.
She's like, no, I really haven't. No, this is a lie. Also, she's going back to the feudal era, and Inuyasha's just there with her.
Yeah, well, and it's funny because she's like, are we gonna be back by Saturday? It's like, I don't know. I forget exactly how he worded it, but it's really.
He's like, oh, it's like fair to moderate.
Fair to moderate. Oh, wait, what's a Saturday?
Yeah. By the way, what's a Saturday in your modern conventions? She's like, oh no, oh brother.
Yeah, fair to moderate's what he said. I just checked our text messages.
So yeah, I don't know why he was there. He's just there, but she's got her big bag and is coming back.
He's probably just waiting for her to like come back. They probably had a scheduled going back.
It was just weird because he's just like, I'm here, gonna bring you back, and that was it. So they are going on a boat.
My guess would be that and I mean, like, this is kind of a weird convention because they haven't really followed it entirely, but supposedly the situation is you're supposed to have the Shikon jewel in order to travel between the well.
They have not established that.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense because like that's how she initially kind of gets there, but like,
yeah,
it's mostly it seems like she can just go back and forth, but also he can come back and forth too.
Right. So what I'm guessing happens is that he like brings her back and forth. But I don't think that that's necessarily like completely stuck to in canon.
Yeah.
But that would make sense because he probably keeps the jewel since last time she brought it to the modern era, bad things happened.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be my guess on why he's there, but don't quote me on that because I can't be 100% sure that's the truth. But
the show is not going to tell you that.
Right. But I think that that's the case.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
So they're on a boat. It's Inuyasha, Kagomi, and Shippo. Shippo is like trying to barf because it's like, I'm seasick. Oh, they've run into some spider webs.
Sorry, I'm not home right now.
I was also thinking that as well, so I'm glad we are again on the same wavelength.
Yay!
Yeah, it's a real likely story.
Oh man.
So they walk through the spider webs, or they boat through the spider webs, excuse me, And Inuyasha's like, nah, spider webs, gross.
Yeah.
And Miyoga's like, Master Inuyasha, is this going to be a problem? He's like, no.
Mm.
And then they see a girl getting chased by something, and she flings off the cliff, and he jumps out and tries to save her. And she's like, oh, thanks for saving me. Wait a minute, you're a demon. Get the off me. And he's like, well, gee, glad I saved you.
He should just let you fall in the water, I guess.
Yep. So like they go back on land, and Kagome like treats her wound with like some anesthesia spray. She's like, just think of this as like a bunch of herbs. Yep.
Yep, preserved herbs.
Preserved herbs. This girl is Nazuna.
Racist?
She does not like demons.
She's super racist. Nazuna, is that her name?
Sure.
Nazuna.
But they're able to convince her to take her back to the temple she goes to, and the temple priest is like, oh, why don't you stay the night? I'll put some seals on you, and you won't get taken by the spider heads, which are the big enemies of this episode, the spider heads.
Mm-hmm.
Spiderhead, radioactive spiderhead.
We ended up having like a full song through our text exchange. It was pretty good.
We did. So they stay there, and Inuyasha doesn't want to stay, but Kagome's like, we'll stay, and he's like, fine, I guess.
Kagome's like freaking out because Inuyasha's acting weird.
And he's like, and they're like, oh, are you afraid of spiders? He's like, no. And Shippo's like, oh, I'm a spider. Woo, look at me, I'm a spider. And then just gets beat up for it, because of course.
Yeah.
He goes outside and notices a bunch of spider heads are in the temple, even though the priest was like, yeah, well, it'll be fine. We're protected. So he takes out Tetsaiga, which doesn't transform, and is like trying to knock them around and get the spider webs off, but it's really not doing much. Shippo's able to use his foxfire to help a little bit, and he's just covered in spider webs. And it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, Inuyasha's just covered in them.
They're able to flee back into the forest. Nazuna is like, oh no, we're under attack. Let me go find the priest. Oh no, he's hurt. No.
No.
In the forest, Kagome is like, they get all the spider webs off him, and then like his hair starts turning black, and Kagome's like, oh no, your hair.
Well, it's not even that like it's turning black. What happens is that like his hair is covered by the spider web, so it's all white, and then when they're pulling them off, it's black underneath. And she's like, wait, what?
And then they're like, oh, you don't have ears. What? And he's like, yeah, it's real tough being a human.
A human?
And then they're like, wait, what? What? Explain this to me. I was like, oh, yeah, it's Master Inuyasha. You know, he's a half demon. So there's a short period every month when the mood is new. He loses all his demonic power. This is that time.
It's this time of the month.
Which is real kind of messed up that you're going to have like a day where he's like, oh, I don't have powers. Sucks to suck.
Yeah. It's a pretty big deal throughout the series that this happens.
And then Kagome just gets real mad at him for being like, you could have told us this and avoided this whole situation. We would have been fine. We wouldn't have had to stay there. What the heck? And he also like, that's because I just don't trust anyone because, you know, I've been on my own so long. This is how I have to protect myself. And Kagome's like, you could open up to us a little bit more. Why? Why would you do that? And then Shippo is meanwhile on the side like, all right, Shippo.
It's your time to shine, buddy.
It's my time to shine. I'm the only one who has powers now. I gotta do this. I gotta win. And then like immediately he's just like, and like, he hears like a little noise like, no.
Poor Shippo. He's so scared.
He's very scared.
He's so tiny though. Like I would be scared too.
It's true. He's basically you.
Basically, yes.
Kagome also remembers that she left her bag in there and is like, oh, by the way, that's where the shards are. Oops.
Yep.
Oops. And then they're just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go get them. Here's the sheath of the sword. Here's the sword. Just take it and it'll protect you. Whatever. Shippo, come on, we're going. And Shippo's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to fight the spiders. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be the winner.
And I was just like, yeah, I still got some like actual strength. I can handle this. It's fine.
They go back to the temple. They've learned that the priest is actually the leader of the spider heads because he got this
long neck,
very stretchy neck. He's like, whoa. He tries to throw some pillars at him because he's trying to. The Spider Man's going through the bag of Kagome, trying to get the shards.
And Inuyasha just like lunges a freaking pillar at him. Like, good lord, kid, you are tough.
the bottle breaks and the shards all spill out, and Shippo's able to get some of them, but the spider head man's gets some of them as well and eats them. He's like, "Rom, rom, 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 rom." And then he pins Inuyasha to the wall, brings out like 1,000 arms apparently because that's what a spider has, and then poisons them because that's what a spider does.
Yep.
And he's like, ugh. And he's like, Ship. He goes to Ship and like, tell me where the rest of them are. And Ship's like, oh, they're over there clearly. And he's like, no, you clearly have them. Don't be stupid. Nazuna and Kagome show up and they're like, oh no, the priest was the behind us the whole time. And then Ship was like, hey, Inuyasha got poisoned. Go help him. And then Kagome is like, all right, I'll do it. But the spiderhead blasts some webs at her, and she's like, I'll put up Tetsaiga. And it's like, screw your webs. So she uses that to run up and save Inuyasha and get him out of the spider webs. And they're able to escape to a separate room thanks to Nazuna, and Miyoga's like, stab Tetsaiga into the door. It'll help protect us because it has enough power to ward them off for a time being.
Also, I'm gonna get the poison out of him. Yay!
I'm gonna give him the suck. He does suck the poison out of him, and also just like it gets very big,
huge.
And then over the course of the night, you see him and Shippo just laying next to each other sleeping, and he just like shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
Yep. And he's basically like, well, Inuyasha just gotta survive now on his strength alone.
Yeah, he must survive. Lord Inuyasha must survive on his strength. Kagome like tries to wipe some of his sweat away and wakes him up. And he's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Why were you crying when you jumped at me?" She's like, "I thought I would lose you and you would die." He's like, "Oh, that's nice. Hey, can I lay on your lap? It's cool. Also, you smell nice. Let me turn my head so I can just smell right into your crotch."
Right in your crotch. Like, they have this conversation where he's like, hey, you smell nice. And she's like, that's not what you said last time. And he's like, yeah, I kind of lied. But he like legit turns his face and just like, you see his nose sniff at her crotch. I'm like, bro, what are you doing there? Calm down. Which, I mean, I guess like he is technically like a 15-year-old boy at this point.
And also he was kind of like passing out again.
Yeah,
when he was doing that. So he wasn't like just deliberately being like, sniff. Let me get a sniff of that.
But he has now admitted that he likes her scent.
So they stay there overnight essentially, and then the spider heads are able to break into the room again, and Myoga's like, we gotta get out of here. Shippo gets grabbed, and the remaining shards are consumed by the spider head, which it really doesn't do much to this thing. It kind of just like, I ate him, cool.
Yeah, it doesn't really get much powerful. He like changes colors at one point when he swallows them, but that's about it.
The spider head's like, yeah, this was a whole ruse and everything, just so I could get Inuyasha here because I knew he had a bunch of shards.
Cool.
It's cool. He picks up Nazuna, who has Tetsaiga, and he's like choking her out, and she drops Tetsaiga. Inuyasha catches it and is like, all right, I'm gonna do this now. And also the sun's rising, so he's getting his powers back. And the spider head's like, oh, I gotta finish this off before you get your powers back. Let me grab you. And then Inuyasha's like, nah, dog, I'm going to chop your arms off and then just beat the crap out of you, and then you're gonna die.
Woo!
Yay!
Yay!
They're able to get the rest of the shards back, but now it's like into like a little like the bottom part of the jewel.
It's like a piece now. They fused.
Which again, way more than what they originally had.
Way more than what they had.
Says it was like, this is less than half of the entire jewel, which again, that's not true because it was like maybe like less than a quarter.
Yeah, like they had like what, 15 pieces at most?
Maybe if that. I was gonna say like 7.
Well, they had several that they got off of the brothers.
Right, but even then, like I feel like it was like 10 at most. And they're like, oh, that was all we had? And it's like, that's way more than what you had. What are you talking about? So they head out. Nazuna thanks them for help. She's like, maybe you'll remember the demons aren't as bad, but some are still bad.
I'm racist.
And Inuyasha's like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. And then Kagome sits and thinks like, did what happened last night really happen? Whoa. And then Inuyasha looks like, stop staring at me, you're taking me off. And then she's like, oh, okay, maybe he's just completely dumb.
Yep.
And then Shippo's like, can we stop? I'm going to barf again. And then he barfs on Inuyasha.
Yep. And we end the episode.
Blah, 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 blah. Let's talk about some.
You gotta listen when a child says they're gonna puke. You gotta pull over the car. You
It's
got
true.
to.
You do not want them to barf in the grocery store, in the checkout line.
Right. I forgot about that.
And then immediately they'll just be like, oh, I feel better now. I'm good now. Yay! I'm going to go to the staff area now and get cleaned up.
Yay! That's basically Shippo.
Yep. Let's talk about some notes and differences real quick.
All right.
This is the first appearance of Inuyasha in his human form.
Okay.
Scare quotes around human. This is the first real hint that Inuyasha and Kagome are developing feelings for each other. Kagome cries at the thought of him injured, and Inuyasha states he lied about her scent, admitting he actually likes it.
Oh, man. We're about to throw a big wrench into that.
This is the episode where the jewel shards are formed into one shard inside of the Spiderhead leader. It's true. All of that happened.
It's true.
Differences from the manga. The opening scene of Kagome leaving school to head to the feudal era is anime only, though the conversation is lifted from a few pages from chapter 24, which is like, I think I want to say, like 15 chapters before all this actually happens.
Whoa.
So
it's like, oh, this is what this year. In the manga, the spider heads' bodies are reversed as human heads on spiders' bodies, which thank God that was not a thing.
Yeah, that's nightmare fuel. No, thank you.
No. I was glad that these weren't like actual spiders. They just looked like weird ninja dudes.
Yeah.
And then the big bad just had just a bunch of arms that looked like a spider web. And I was like, that's whatever. Could have been way worse.
I was nervous.
Yeah. This isn't like Bloodborne where they're like, you want to have giant, realistic looking spiders? And I'm like, no.
Nope.
There was one room in that game where I literally just like sprinted through and did not look back and didn't fight anything because it was a room where like there was just a giant bunch of spiders on the roof that would fall on you as you move through the room.
Nope.
And a lot of them, I was like, no, I'm out of here. Goodbye.
I hate that they do that because like if when games put sharks in it, it makes me just hate everything. And like spiders are way more common in games than sharks, and it's very unfortunate. I feel really bad for people who are scared of spiders.
I ran through that room and then far enough away so the enemies would unaggro on me.
Nice.
I was like, all right, I guess I'll continue on.
Nice.
The anime leaves out the scene where the master comments that he cannot feel any demonic power from Inuyasha. When the spider heads first surround Inuyasha's group, they do so from outside in the anime, whereas they have already infiltrated the room and the group is staying in the manga. The anime leaves out various conversations when Kagome first discovers Inuyasha has lost his powers. In the manga, the spider heads cover Kagome's bag with their spider webs and attempt to steal the Shikon shards, while the master remains unconscious, quote unquote. In the anime, however, it is the master who attempts to take the shards out of her bag. Likewise, the entire discovery that the master is the spider head leader differs greatly. And the first fight in the manga is extended with Shippo playing more of a role. This includes alerting Kagome and Nazuna that Inuyasha and Shippo are in trouble.
Yeah.
The spider head leader crushing the room to get it inside only happens in the anime. In the manga, the leader convinces Nazuna to remove the Tetsaiga from the door, releasing its barrier.
Ah, that makes sense.
And the entire fight with the spider head leader is changed in the anime to be significantly shorter. The manga's version is much longer and involves Nazuna helping Inuyasha to a great extent.
Shit, so we're being racist for a bit in the manga to help out. How nice of her.
Sorry, we didn't have enough time for you in this episode to do this.
Also, like, her voice acting is so odd. Like, she sounds very, very stilted when she speaks.
Yeah.
Everybody else is getting a bit better, but that was
baddie.
Well, I just blame that on being Canadian.
True. So that's going to do it for this week. Next time, we will be discussing Season 1, Episode number 14, called Kikyo's Stolen Ashes.
We're about to get some plot, buddy.
Well, we're going to learn about why someone stole her ashes. That's real mean.
It's real mean. But yeah, this is going to be a thing that goes on for a good while. So be ready for it.
14 episodes in, it's time to get to the plot.
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be more plot after that, but like this is a big part of what the series is about.
Yeah. So we will talk about that next week, but for now, if you'd like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sac.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup and Season Language Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you want more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. You can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. And you can buy our books, One Shining Moment, A Critical Analysis of Love, Life, Sunshine, and Hot Tubs and Pac-Man on Amazon.com.
Hey, hey,
So
guess
join
what?
it. Hey, what's up?
You're probably gonna get to hear a lot more yees again next
Oh,
week.
no.
Yee!
Well, look forward to that next week as ye and ye learn about the ye plot.
Yay!